It is so easy to neglect your relationship with your fiance and just pour 100% of your time into wedding planning. If you are trying to please everybody, you are going to wear yourself so thin. Like, it is impossible to make everybody happy. And at the end of the day, this is you and your fiance's wedding, not everybody and their mama's wedding. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am so glad that you are here today. I am by myself today because I'm going to be talking a little bit about wedding planning and just some helpful tips during your wedding planning process. You don't have to be engaged or almost married to watch this video. I mean, you can watch this video and then have insight for when you are planning a wedding. So just stick along with me. I actually was not someone who thrived in their engagement. I'll be honest, I did not love the engagement season. As far as everything that went into it, as far as the stress, as far as just all of it. I know some people glory in that and they're like, oh, I wish I was engaged, I miss wedding planning, I miss la da 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 da, but that just was not me. I was doing what I needed to do in that season, but I was very excited to actually be married because I can dig deeper into that, but it was a bit chaotic and there was a lot going on. So I'm very glad that that season of my life is over, but there are a lot of things that I learned during that season that I would love to kind of share with you. Maybe things that you can either avoid during your engagement season or things that will better prepare you. So here we go. We're just going to jump right into the video. Had to see if it was recording because I got a little scared there for a second. So this one completely, I can't even imagine my wedding planning process or my wedding day without this aspect of the whole thing. So my first tip to you would be to hire a day of coordinator. And so if you can't afford a whole wedding planner to kind of walk with you through the whole process, I would hands down, no matter what, do anything you can to hire a day of coordinator, because this person will still help you through the process of planning, but they will also be your point person on the day of your wedding. And that is so essential. The things that you do not need to worry about on your wedding day, this person will make sure that you don't have to worry about those things. And they will make sure it's seamless. They will make sure your vendors are where they need to be and what time they need to be there. They will just trust me on it. I can't even stress it enough how much a day of coordinator will help you. Another thing that I did right off the bat was get all of my vendors set in stone. Everybody says oh, you need to find your dress. That's the first thing you need to do, but it's just not, honestly. Finding your dress can come later on, but first and foremost, photographer, videographer, decorator, catering, anything that you want to be there on your wedding day, that needs to be secured in the first things that you do. It almost feels like once those things are secured and you're confident that people will be where they need to be when they need to be there, everything else just kind of flows from that. And that's just something I wanted to tell you, is you don't have to stress about getting your dress first. That'll come. I got engaged in December 11th of 2021, and I didn't get my dress until the end of March of 2022. So December to March, then we got married in June. And so I honestly didn't have a lot of time. And the main reason I did that is because I wanted his mom to be able to come and go dress shopping with me, because that's really special. And so anyway, that was the weekend that she was able to do it. And so the Lord knows when you're gonna get your dress, and he already has that day picked out. You don't have to worry about stressing over that. So if it's the dress that you're supposed to wear on that day, it's going to be there, it's going to be in your size, and it'll be it'll get in time to be your dress. I got my dress at the second store that we went to, and I was like, don't even show me any dresses that will not make it here in time for my wedding. And so the only dresses I tried on were the dresses that would for sure be in time for my wedding. So do that as well. Another thing I wrote down was do not sweat the little things. Everything is going to come together. And this was something that I did stress and sweat the little things when I was planning. At the end of the day, yes, all of everything falls on you as an individual. Like, you have to make sure everything is taken care of. But if I could go back, I probably wouldn't stress about the little teeniest, tiniest of things, because if I can be completely honest, yes, best day of my life, but I really don't remember anything past. It's almost like when it hit 12 p.m. that day, I really don't remember much of what happened. And I think that's a pretty normal thing, like from people that I talk to. They're like, yeah, I don't remember my wedding day at all. And that's not to say, obviously, you don't have to plan the details. Obviously, sit down, plan the details. But the thing is like, don't stress about it, because at the end of the day, you're marrying the love of your life, and that's really the only thing that matters. So definitely that. One thing that I wish I would have done more of, and something I should encourage you to do, is block out the opinions of others and have like just 2 or 3, maybe 4 people that you know and you trust to get advice from. Because if you are trying to please everybody, you are going to wear yourself so thin. Like, it is impossible to make everybody happy. And at the end of the day, this is you and your fiance's wedding, not everybody and their mama's wedding. And so have those people that you value their opinion, that you want to hear from, that you want to ask questions. Have those people in your corner, yes, but don't take in all the opinions of auntie and uncle and second and fifth cousin, because you just don't have time to please everybody. Like, you have to make the decisions that are going to make you and your fiance happy, and you and your fiance what you guys want. And so my day of coordinator actually told me this. She was like, weddings and wedding days and wedding planning bring out very strange emotions in family members, and it almost like gives people like permission to have opinions in your life and whatever. And you just have to really tune it out. Like, that's the only thing I can tell you. And when you're in your engagement season and you're in your wedding planning process, you will know exactly what I mean. And you need to send me a message when you're having a moment where you're like, I know what you mean. For real, everybody wants you to know their opinion about the matter. And I'm like, girl, you have not even known me for, like, I just don't even know you, and why you feel like you need to have an opinion in this right now. And it's not to be mean, but it's like, why do people, I don't understand why people care so much if it's my wedding day. Anyway, so have those people that you know and trust and love to give you advice, but anybody else, you're just gonna have to tune it out. And you're still kind to them, obviously, in the moment, and you're like, thank you and whatever, but like, don't let their opinions affect the decisions that you make, is what I'm trying to say. And this one I really cannot express enough, because it's something I wish I would have done better. Don't forget that you are still in a relationship. And I know it sounds so crazy. What I wrote is, don't forget to still be intentional in your relationship, because it is so easy to neglect your relationship with your fiance and just pour 100% of your time into wedding planning. And I know for us, especially since we were long distance, and I'm sure many of you will be in a long distance engagement if that's your situation, but like, there were days that obviously we're like texting or whatever, but like, I just was completely 100% devoted to the wedding, and I honestly didn't like not value, because obviously I value the relationship, but I wasn't intentional enough with the time that I put into that relationship. And yes, there were boundaries, like, okay, we know that this season is going to look different because of us planning a wedding and me putting a lot of time into the wedding, but still be intentional, still have those times where you're on the phone talking and have conversations that are not of the wedding. Talk about things to get your mind off of the wedding. Still ask each other how each other are doing. Still catch up with each other just as your fiance, not as you're planning a wedding and everything's stressful. Like, you have to still take time to do that, especially gearing and getting ready for marriage. Like, there's so many important conversations that you should be having. There's so many things that you and your fiance should be talking about. And if you're not intentional with that, you will go through your engagement season and then get to your wedding day and you're like, wait, like, I don't really feel prepared to like be in this moment because I haven't had the proper conversations with my fiance that I needed to have. Just really still be intentional with the relationship. Like, you do not want your relationship to suffer because you're planning your wedding, you know. And I'm sure if you have been in this place before, then you know what I'm talking about, because it just brings tension almost to the relationship. Because this was my situation, is that I was pretty much doing all of the hands-on planning and making all of like the little day-to-day decisions. And so, and him being all the way in Florida, 1,000 miles away, like, it's hard to really like involve him in every single little decision. Obviously big decisions, obviously he was a part of, but it's just hard. And so I would say, to the best that you can, keep your fiance and his family very involved in the wedding planning. I didn't write that one, but it just came to me, like, make sure that they feel appreciated, make sure that they're communicated to. Like, you don't want to leave them out of the loop. And I'm sure I could have done better at that, but I really was trying to be intentional with, okay, let me make sure his family knows this, let me make sure he knows this, let me make sure everybody's all on the same page. That way they feel valued and like they're a part of the process, and I love them and I want them to feel that. And I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this is your son's wedding, but I'm over here gonna do everything, you know. And I have a great relationship with them. I love his family so much, like, just so much. And so if you don't have a great relationship with your fiance's family, kind of use that season of your life to maybe develop that relationship, because you just don't want to go into your marriage with having a bad relationship with your fiance's family. Like, I can't imagine not having the relationship I have with them. Start taking care of little things, like go ahead and write your vows. I actually did not write my vows until the morning of my wedding on the way to the venue. So do not do that, which it was like a special time of like that morning and waking up and writing them, but I still would have rather had done it beforehand. Literally the whole time, like throughout the engagement season, I was like, I need to write my vows. I do not need to wait until the day of the wedding. I need to write my vows. I do not need to wait till the day of the wedding. Waited till the day of the wedding, wrote them that morning, literally on the way. And so it was special, but just wouldn't advise it, because it's just like, it's honestly one of those things that you know you have to do, but you just never get to. And so I just would say to do that ahead of time. There's just a lot I could say, because like I said, I feel like I made a lot of mistakes in that season of my life, but also I'm grateful for some of the things I did. And so I would say just really take that season and focus on what matters. And I cannot stress that enough. You are about to get married. You are about to start a life with a brand new person that you've never, I mean, in my situation, never lived with before, never obviously lived in a house with just a boy before. And so there's a lot of new things that are going to start to happen in your life. And I think the wedding day is obviously so special. All of your family and friends and those you love come together. And it's such a beautiful day, but you have to focus on more than just the wedding day. And we spent so much time like having those conversations about what our life is going to look like after the wedding day, and I cannot stress that enough. Have those conversations. Girls, if you are saving yourself for marriage, and if you are a virgin and you've never had sex before, talk to your pastors or talk to your mom if you can trust her and if she believes the same way as you. Talk to the leaders in your life that you trust about how you should prepare for that night. If you'd like me to do a video on how to prepare for your wedding night as a woman and as a virgin, let me know, because I like to talk about it. And I feel like I was very, 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 very well prepared going into that night. Like, I did not feel any stress or any anxiety about my wedding night at all. And I feel like that's because I sought the wisdom from the leaders and the women in my life. And I had a lot of people speaking godly wisdom into that whole scenario. And so for a woman who is a virgin, or you're saving yourself for marriage, or you just don't know, you know, all of those things. Like, it's so important to feel prepared and feel light and good about heading into your wedding night. If you are a Christian couple, I would also advise you to obviously get marriage counseling from 2 pastors or 2 leaders that you love. We had incredible marriage counselors, incredible people who walked with us through that season of our lives, asking the hard questions, getting us to talk about hard things. What that did was prepare us for the life that we are now living after the wedding day, which was a brief one day and the whole story. Obviously, the wedding day is so magical and dreamy and the best, and you'll remember it forever. As much as you can, you'll remember that forever. But your life after the wedding is the 99.9% that you need to be thinking about, praying into, talking about, focusing on. And yeah, that's just would be my advice to you. There's obviously other little things that I could go into, and if you would like a part 2 to this video, I'm totally open to doing that. And like I said, if you want to know more about preparing for your wedding night, more about the actual day of the wedding day tips, like that actual day, or more of the engagement process, whatever you want to hear, I love talking about these things. And so just let me know in the comments down below what you want to hear. I just am passionate about, as like a godly woman, preparing to be the best possible wife that you can be to your husband. And so the Lord has just had me on this journey of, obviously I'm only almost 6 months in, but I'm 5.5 months in to being a wife, and just all the things I've learned so far and the things that he was teaching me season that we were engaged. So there's just so many things that I could go into, so just let me know what you would like to hear from me. But that'll be it for today's video. I love you guys, and I am just so thankful for the community that we are creating here on YouTube, and we just want you to know that we love you guys. We want you to know that we value what you all bring to the table. So if there are ever any questions that you guys have or topics that you would like us to talk about, please let us know down in the comments or message us privately. You can follow us on Instagram. I will link those below, as well as TikTok, but shoot me a DM on Instagram if you watch our videos. I love communicating with you guys over there. And you'll see more of my day-to-day life over on Instagram as well. So I love you guys, and I'm so thankful for y'all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, let me know in the comments what you want to see more of, and we will see you guys next week.